I hope you have heard my talks, you see. If you have followed it, I clearly say there are two aspects of religions. One is the outer, the other is the inner. We have taken steps as an outer aspect of the religion. Reading of scriptures, saying of prayers, performance of certain rites and rituals. And that has been explained to you, their scope, what they are meant for. Reading of scriptures, if rightly understood with somebody who knows the way, that creates an interest to know God. And that ends there. Saying of prayers and performance of rites and rituals, they are meant for developing love and devotion in us for God. These are good actions, have their own reactions, have good results. These are meant for the preparation of the ground for the other way, which is higher, to be taken up when you rise above body consciousness. All these pertain to the body. These are meant for the preparation of the ground, remain in some religion. But remain in any religion and only taking the preliminary steps and not taking the higher, you do not derive full benefit from following that religion. A true Christian is one who sees the light of God. And all others have defined the same way. So what you have been given is not religion but spirituality. You follow? Spirituality is not religion. Religion is a social body, a school in which we have joined to attain spirituality. Spirituality, what it is self-analysis of soul from mind and outgoing faculty. Knowing oneself and being in tune with God. This is what is, strictly speaking, spirituality. It is no spiritualism, no spiritism, no mesmerism, no hypnotism. So while you follow the first step, when you have been given the higher step, some man came up to me yesterday that he is putting in 3 hours for yoga, hatha yoga. What should he do? Well, go on doing hatha yoga. That will lead you to give you good body. Why not give some time to make your body fit? Not 3 hours. Say half an hour something there to make your body fit. Rest 2.5 hours for this higher purpose. You follow my points? What I say? You have been given to be true Christian. You have been given a contact with the Word, which is a lamp unto my feet and light on my path. You have been given something that God manifests in any human soul. He is the light of the world. They are children of light. When they come to the world, they give all the light to all and everybody. You follow my point? So you are not to leave any religion as a social body. But you have got something higher. No, you get something higher, still you spend your whole time, 24 hours, for that and not for this what you have got. What is the use of having this? I am not changing your religion. If I change, I will have to form a new one, and new rules, new regulations, new rights and everything. Why to waste time in that? Remain in some religion, but only to think because you are a Christian or a Hindu or a Mohammedan, you will be just accepted at the court of God. That is 100% wrong. Unless you become true to God, you come in contact with the light of God and follow the masters who came in the past. They gave universal religion. You cannot be accepted at the court of God. You follow me now? You remain where you are. Remain, your relations continue. Go to the church, you get the first step with due deference. When they take in the first, you can utilize that time for higher purpose. You have got the way. You are not to hate them, you see. Those who have come in contact with those you have been already, love them. And if you got something higher, tell them friendly, but this is something further way up in our own scriptures, you see. So you are not, when anybody tells you only comparative, they must make clear the point, you see, that this is the value. We do reference. If not, you will have to create another religion. What for? Those religions which have stood the test of times, why not remain there? By changing outer forms, etc., does not bring you closer to God. Mind that, unless you follow the teachings what the Masters gave. Christ said, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Did he not say that? He says, I am the light of the world. That Christ lived before Jesus and after too. Christ's power was the God power which manifested that the human pole of man, Son of Man. We have great respect for Son of Man, at whose pole that God power worked. But that continues forever. In the Unity Temple, I gave a talk. Well, I had to ask him, well, what are your principles? Then he gave me, who was Christ? And there it is given, Christ lived before Jesus. Follow the difference between the two? God power, God into expression power, Word was made flesh and dwelt amongst us. That God power or the Guru power or the Master power or the Christ power is the same. That lives forever, before and after. Their teachings have been universal. So you have got something diamond-like. If you go on like to just, you have business in the silver, you may do if you like, but the diamonds are more valuable. Go on within where you are. You may have context there, no hard and fast rule. If anybody has told you not to leave off all this, I think they have not been able to explain fully what is meant.
Master, you just answered my question before I asked it.
No, the facts remain, you see, that will appeal to you. If you have got something very valuable, if you still go on with iron work, it is your value. It has its value. These are good actions. I am not underrating them. But these are meant for the preparation of the ground. With your good fortune and your search after God, God has given you a step further. It is God who has given it. As I always tell, it is God manifested in man who can give you a contact with Him. So you have to love all, you see. You have friends, tell them you have found something else which was hidden before in our scriptures. They will come round. If you have to just learn to hate them, then where's the love? We say love God and love everybody. But don't be led away, mind that. You are having something other, don't leave it for the sake of. What we do? We stick to the outer casing of walnut and ignore the kernel. But don't do that. You follow my mind? Well, I made no religion. Definitely. And now I am going to make any religion, so far as I am alive. If after me anybody does it, he will going astray the point, I tell you. This is a truth which is one has been experienced by one and all. Ever since the world came. Those who knew the truth, they gave out that way. This question was put to my master. He says, where is Khanna? Where is Khanna? Why should he not be here? People will be referring to him. Well, I am telling something very important question which has been explained already so many times, and perhaps you know already, but this is a question here. That we should not ignore the kernel by sticking to the outer covering of the walnuts. Make the best use of it. You are not to hate anybody. And especially in the school where you have been, if you got something higher in the very school what the minister do not know, surely I am not exaggerating. I have come in contact with the ministers of all religions. Majority of them, they are ignorant about these higher things. And that is why they never mention. So for that you can tell away here is something more in our own scriptures. See? So in that case, they will also come round. Not change the religion, outer forms, not the least, but a further step in their own, as given in their own scripture. So love for all those who are going on the higher, but others, also God is in them. If you hate them, then who will be? When you found a candle of light, put it not under a bushel, but place it where it can attract the attention of other seekers. So those who are, you were in some church, I am in some church. If my brothers out there are ignorant, I must say, here it is in our own scripture. You see? So you have to love for no, hatred for none. But don't ignore the diamond work. Replace it by the copper or the iron or the silver. This is what I mean to say. I think that point's clear, sure.
Yes. We can visit there and then they'll say, where have you been? And then we say, I have found something better. They're hungry.
In our own scriptures, tell them, here it is.
There.
I tell you honestly, even the bishops do not know what is what. Majority of all religions, not I am telling of the Christians only, but other religions too. No, men of other religions, they direct them to me. For the inner go to him. They are supposed to be knowing God. If they know God, they must give up. They simply give you, go on with the first step. That will do. Well, that is wrong, I tell you honestly. If you have only one farm and go on like that, well, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. Have love for them. But if you don't love them, how will he hear you? By love, you can make anybody understand. By hatred, nobody will come near you. You will be defaming the work of your own movement. Revival, I would say, not movement, you see. Of the old truth we have forgotten. I think this point is very clear. Yes, yes, please. As regards reading of scriptures. What I have written, I have given a digest or the cream of the inner way up as given by all scriptures. To the best I know, theoretically, by parallel study of religions and practically. So that is a cream with you. You may read them first. If anything on that, I have given reference to other scriptures too. You can quote here, such and such also says that. Let it be basic principle which guides you direct. And then you quote, Lord Krishna says so, Christ says so, Buddha says so. But don't make the basis those because they also form part of other things too. You see? They've got their own rituals, everything. They lay sometimes, on account of ignorance, too much importance to the preparatory step and not mention the other. So ye have been given what is the digest or the cream, you see. That is given preference. As regards path of the masters, let there be no misunderstanding about it. Life cannot be prolonged by any man, by any doctor. That is already fixed up. But you can help it in the other way. And moreover, you will find that's a very minimum quantity. Then the whole homeopathy should go to war. Because that is prepared in alcohol, you see. The question is about the intoxication that gives. That very minimum one drop can give you intoxication. But the other way it is too much good. So purposely don't take it for the personal relishing or anything like that, you see. Injection is also based on the principle of homeopathy. Little thing play up the whole blood. Avoid as much as you possible by having recourse to others. If there are no other alternative, that's another thing. I always enjoin to keep diaries for self-introspection for one and all, including group leaders and everybody. If we live up to that, there can be no conflict. First thing is, don't think evil of others. Non-violence by your harsh words. You see? That is the main cause of creating hatred. I was just telling, oh blind man, and then you ask him, when did you lose your sight? Difference between the two. isn't it? One is harming, the other is not. Similarly, if you find anything wrong in somebody, tell him privately, dear friend, does not appear to me. And don't broadcast it. Don't make party. Don't go by the ears and the eyes of others. What we do, first we do something, who are attached to you, they form a party. And those are carried tales to others. Like what you say, they just like diseases arise by infection, you see. That infection goes round and they are party. If you keep your own diaries, well, don't think of evil, don't hear evil of others, don't see evil of others, don't speak evil of others. Then naturally if there's anything wrong in others, point out friendly. I think this is the main cause. We simply know, we simply see, well, we are in authority. We will say, I have turned you out. Well, who are you to turn to anybody else? This is the SATSANG of the Master. All I tell you for the sake of the Master. If anybody says, one or two, the initiate or anybody, well, he is not following the instructions of the Master. Those in charge, placed in charge as group leaders, they are given the children for their custody and help. And also, you love one another. If you love another, love knows errors may creep up, but love knows forgiveness and forgetfulness. I think if you follow this very principle, there can be nothing. Our words should be kind. Kind words don't cost anything, but kind words must be imbued with humility. Sometimes we, in our own zealous, oh, you are, I can undo these things. Well, these are the things which create all trouble. You appreciate others' effort, whatever effort he is making, more or less. If you give appreciation, the other man is encouraged to help you. He may have the flaws. Those flaws may be pointed out separately, privately, not broadcasted because that will make parties, you see. So that is the cause of all friction, which has risen in the past, may arise in the future. If you love Master, you attend satsang for the sake of the Master. The groups in charge should treat you like mothers, I would say. You see? They are not masters, but they have been selected to help you. They also may have some flaws, you see, but the way is not to go away privately. You can request him, but this appears now. I hope he will hear to you. Even if you friendly, one or the other, if you tell them privately it is not, all right, what is done cannot be undone. Suppose anybody, that is your own, mistake. That has nothing to do with the teachings of the Masters. It is only because you don't follow it, all this friction. If you follow, love Master and all those who go to him, love him. Love knows service and sacrifice. If anything happens, love beautifies everything. Love knows forgiveness and forgetfulness, isn't it? So even if you follow this very principle, there can be no like that. Yes, you were saying something. So as I told you, if you find anything, go to him privately and clarify. You see? Don't broadcast. That makes parties. Don't hear through the ears of others, don't see through the eyes of others. If only that much is done, you see. Group leaders are there to help, you see. They have great responsibility. All the same, they are helping you. Just sit together, make arrangements, sacrifice their time, their money sometimes, and also labor, you see. They don't want anything in return. But I tell you, they clearly give you understand that master is master, they are not masters. Don't mistake that. This is clarified. If there is anything, when one man sees, God gives him the eye to see the God in the master is everything. Well, her eyes have been opened, or his eye has been opened. He sees that way. Then he says, why don't you go like that? As I explained to you, everything has its value, you see. Some are of higher value, some are of lower. Fact remains like that. So I appreciate, you see, all of you who are group leaders or others, to just think that way. You sacrifice your time, your something, for what? For higher purpose, to know. Suppose there is resentment between the two, he leaves the place and goes away. Then, well, This is not part of the science, you see, because we are all not perfect as yet. You see, we are on the way. Some are more progress, the others less. But we make an allowance for that, you see. Yes, please.
Master dear, would you say...
But don't forget to attend your group meetings. Mind that. If you leave away that, then you led away. Because there the question is, this lesson is revived. Mind that. You go to churches, I don't mind.
I learned mine.
Yes, yes. If you go away, I tell you one thing more. If you find truth anywhere else, tell me, I will also follow you. There is a story in the Quran, Muhammadan scriptures. One was a lover of God. He was just always devoted all time. Prayers and everything. There was a bird on another tree close by. His voice was very sweet. What he did, he just left his place and sat under that tree where that voice he used to hear. He would say prayer, but his whole love was for the bird. And the God away told him, well, look here, you loved more bird than me. I leave you. Love all for the sake of God. Love one another for the sake of God in man. Then there is no harm. That Bhakta, he spent all his life, but he was just attached to the sweet voice of the bird and left his place, lived there, and God said, well, you have more love for that, not for me. You love him for his sake, then you are saved. Otherwise, you are bound, that's all. Physically, I may meet you again or not. But now I tell you a few parting words. First of all, I wish you what you have got by the grace of God, develop it from day to day. That would please me most and please the God in me and the God overhead. Don't miss that thing. Leave all things and attend to God every day first. Be devoted, surrender, you see, to God in all your actions. For that first thing, you see. For that, two things are very important. I would say three. First, love. God is love and we are love, personified. And the way back to God is love. Which goes to develop your love for God, do it. Which goes to develop love with your own self at the cost of the love for God, then leave it. You see? Love knows service and sacrifice. Love beautifies everything. Love knows no burdens. Love knows giving, not taking. These words I am telling for all, whether they are initiates, group in charge or representatives. They are there to give, not to take anything. What you give, what you know. By physical, also what you can serve others. Financially also to the best you can. And all should share, first stand on your own legs by honest means, then stand on your own legs, maintain your families, and try to help others who are needy, hungry, naked, and for the cause of God. Share something, no taxation, no imposition. Maybe 1 cent. This is the one thing, you see. Love for all. If love for all, why not love between the brothers? You have been just connected in a relation which can never break even after death, you see. Because you are all on the way, the same way. In direct contact with God. This is the first. When you know love, you cannot hate anyone. You never think evil of others. Never speak of others. You will never suffer to hear evil of others. You will never think of evil of others. Love knows all these things. For the sake of, for want of this all this trouble, you see. You come to the SATSANG for the sake of Master, not A, B, C, D. All are there for the sake of the God's work. You see? Stand on your own legs. Don't try to make further karmas by grabbing, by receiving, by exacting from others. Those are needy, they have the right to give them. Those are naked, have them. Where the good cause gives them. This is first thing for love. Then comes sinlessness. purity of thought, chastity. This is what is mostly needed. If you have no chaste lives, a married life has been defined in scriptures. Try to come up to that standard. When you are married to one, remain married to one. Not everybody. I'm sorry to say these words because I find this almost everywhere. Women in gold, two are the things, greatest impediments on our way. Stick as the scriptures say. Live on your earnings, don't depend on others. Help in the cause, share with others who are needy. And chaste lives. You see? And kind words. If there's love, there are kind words, no harshness. If there anything crops up, well, reconcile before you go to sleep. Rest assured, this masters have enjoined always. If any two brothers have not agreed, something wrong, they are going to bed. No, don't go to bed unless you reconcile. That is why Christ said, if you do not love your brothers whom you see, how can you love God whom you do not see? So he says, I give you a new commandment, love one another. You know, try to just promote this cause of God. This is no man's work, God's work. You know, you're convinced of the truth of it. Maybe little, but it goes further, you see. That is the basic principle of all religions. Help, if you can, for the cause. Help others needy, hungry, naked. That you can do only if you simplify your life. Mind that. You got too much to do. You cannot stand on your own legs. How can you help others? That is why I said in my circular, simplify. Simplify and simplify. Share with others. So long you have got this body, always give. Don't like that. Take it, give. Such a man, you see, will command respect from everybody. Who is chaste, who is not greedy, who has love for all, who has kind words, imbued with humanity. I think this is all I want of you. And adhering to this very thing, because man's life is meant for knowing God. Hell will come to you unasked for. If the child is asleep, mother has to take care of her. If any snake comes, mother will kill herself, rather allow the snake to go to near the child. So that God power or the Christ power is with you on initiation. That is the Guru power or the Master power. That will look after you. But child has no love for other than his mother. He has full faith. When the lion comes, the child will run to the mother. Probably the lion might eat up the mother too. But he has full faith. So you have full faith, you can change and remove the mountains. So faith is the root cause of religion, and practically you have seen you have got something which is referred to in the scriptures. Develop from day to day. I wish each one of you to be ambassadors after all. Harvest is much. Laborers are wanted, but the laborers should be ideal ones, right? Everyone should be ideal. An example is better than saying things and not living up to them. Well, that's a bad example for others. Others won't be guided. They won't accept you. When you see, they think, oh, you're doing everything. It's just women in gold affects them as much as to them. Then why? You cannot respect. Anybody cannot command respect. These are the only two ways in which you can command respect from everybody, even whom you do not know, because your words will charge with that life. They are very simple words. You tell they affect others, and you may give a long yarns that does not affect anybody. Reason why? The life is not behind it. So be practical, you see. Try to reform others. All the world over will be reformed, you see. We reform others and don't reform ourselves. That's the reason why all this stuff. My greatest pleasure will go to you who live up to what you are told to do, that's all. Poor and rich alike, higher and lower. Group leaders, initiates, everybody, God, we are all equal, you see, we are all brothers and sisters in God, you see. It is the grace of God that helps you. That will also continue helping you, that's all. Unasked for, without any compensation. God's grace, you see, He gives as one is deserving. He can contain that much, you see. And that is for all, not for one. But He is awaiting anybody should turn off face to Him, you see, that's all. Father wishes every one of His children to stand on legs, to be more than himself. I think initiates should celebrate the pleasure of meeting somebody in whom the God manifested every day morning, with every breathing. This only historically, you see, you gather together to revive that lesson. True celebration of birthdays, you live up to what you say. That's all. These become generally ceremonies. I think the greatest celebration of the birth lies in the fact by whose grace I was able to communicate these things to you. That is my master, you see. So, in the celebration of the day of birth, everything comes in, you see. But celebrate every day, remember it. That's all. Live up to that. That's I think, the highest form of celebration of any master's birth.